Hello? Can you hear me? Good. This time it was not the beast's fault. The beast caught a thief trying to steal the router. Game time. The game between Burlington and Salem begins. Play ball. Attendees Johnsy changed his name, Silupi, Sneaky Spoon, and 42 others checked into the stadium. Umpire Combine takes their place behind home plate. The sky goes dark. Stadium lights shine to life. The weather begins crescent moon. The tide is in. Top of the first inning. Current score, 0-0. Dylan Ducharme is up to pitch. Triplicate Carnan steps up to bat. Triplicate Carnan is caught looking. Strike, 0-1. Triplicate Carnan is caught looking. Strike, 0-2. The weather de-intensified. Weather is now new moon. Carnan fouls it to foul infield right. Attendee Lord of Fear JC caught the foul ball. Triplicate Carnan did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Triplicate Carnan hit a ground ball to infield right. Triplicate Carnan is on with a double. Zara Index steps up to bat. Zara Index swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Index fouls it to foul infield left. Dylan Ducharme strikes Zara Index out. Josiah Yin steps up to bat. Josiah Yin did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Josiah Yin did not swing. Ball, 2-0. Josiah Yin swung and missed. Strike, 2-1. Josiah Yin did not swing. Ball, 3-1. Josiah Yin hit a ground ball to outfield right center. Josiah Yin is on with a triple. Triplicate Carnan scores. Adelaide Chisel steps up to bat. Adelaide Chisel swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Chisel fouls it to foul stands right. Tides shift. The tide is now out. Adelaide Chisel hit a line drive to infield center. Adelaide Chisel is thrown out by Mateo Blankchek. Adelaide Chisel is out. Tides shift. The tide is now in. Laurel Nguyen steps up to bat. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Nguyen fouls it to foul infield right. Laurel Nguyen swung and missed. Strike, 1-2. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 2-2. Laurel Nguyen hit a ground ball to infield right. Laurel Nguyen is on with a single. Josiah Yin scores. Tides shift. The Tide is now out. Ivy Ramalan steps up to bat. Ramalan fouls it to foul back. Ramalan fouls it to foul outfield right. Dylan Ducharme strikes Ivy Ramalan out. Bottom of the first inning. Current score, 2-0. Josiah Yin is up to pitch. Slosh Yamamoto steps up to bat. Slosh Yamamoto hit a ground ball to infield left. Slosh Yamamoto is on with a triple. Tides shift. The Tide is now in. Mira Whitecloud steps up to bat. Mira Whitecloud swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Mira Whitecloud swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. Mira Whitecloud did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Whitecloud fouls it to foul stands right. Mira Whitecloud hit a line drive to outfield left. Mira Whitecloud is thrown out by Yves Gelot. Mira Whitecloud is out. Ryan Dominguez steps up to bat. Ryan Dominguez hit a line drive to outfield center. Rump Rosemary caught the ball. Tides shift. The Tide is now out. Mateo Blanchek steps up to bat. Josiah Yin and Mateo Blanchek stare each other down. Both players awkwardly shuffle. Yin and Mateo Blanchek both get stuck in their own heads. Blanchek fouls it to foul outfield left. Tides shift. The Tide is now in. Mateo Blanchek hit a fly ball to outfield left center. Yves Gelot caught the ball. A short aside from Coach Tequila increases Mateo Blanchek's sleight of foot by 1 level to E. Top of the second inning. Current score, 2-0. Dylan Ducharme is up to pitch. The new moon continues. A dark sky watches on high. Malaysia Melon steps up to bat. Malaysia Melon did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Melon fouls it to foul infield right. Malaysia Melon did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Melon fouls it to foul outfield left. Attendee Seraphony caught the foul ball. Malaysia Melon did not swing. Ball, 3-2. That's 4 balls and Malaysia Melon is headed to first. Yves Gelot steps up to bat. Yves Gelot swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Gelot fouls it to foul stands left. Attendee onlooker 92 caught the foul ball. Jalo fouls it to foul infield left. Moon weather gave way to rain weather. It begins sprinkling. Jalo fouls it to foul back. The sprinkling continues. Play goes on. Jalo fouls it to foul stands left. Jalo fouls it to foul back. Dylan Ducharme strikes Yves Jalo out. Rump Rosemary steps up to bat. Rump Rosemary is caught looking. Strike. 0-1. The sprinkling continues. The umpire's breath mingles with the mist. Rump Rosemary swung and missed. Strike. 0-2. Rain weather gave way to moon weather. It begins new moon. The tide is in. Dylan Ducharme strikes Rump Rosemary out. Triplicate Carnan steps up to bat. Triplicate Carnan swung and missed. Strike. 0-1. Triplicate Carnan hit a ground ball to outfield right. Triplicate Carnan is on with a double. The new moon continues. An unseen weight hangs above. Zara Index steps up to bat. Zara Index did not swing. Ball. 1-0. Zara Index did not swing. Ball. 2-0. Tides shift. The tide is now out. Zara Index hit a line drive to infield left. Zara Index is on with a single. Malaysia Melon scores. Josiah Yin steps up to bat. Josiah Yin swung and missed. Strike. 0-1. Josiah Yin swung and missed. Strike. 0-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Josiah Yin out. Bottom of the second inning. Current score, 3-0. Josiah Yin is up to pitch. Vanessa Fowler Grace steps up to bat. Fowler Grace fouls it to foul outfield left. Vanessa Fowler Grace did not swing. Ball. 1-1. Vanessa Fowler Grace did not swing. Ball. 2-1. Vanessa Fowler Grace swung and missed. Strike. 2-2. Fowler Grace fouls it to foul infield left. The new moon continues. The stadium lights burn like hundreds of stars in the heavens. Josiah Yin strikes Vanessa Fowler Grace out. Melt's Valentina steps up to bat. Melt's Valentina swung and missed. Strike. 0-1. Melt's Valentina hit a ground ball to outfield center. Melt's Valentina is thrown out by Rump Rosemary. Melt's Valentina is out. Dylan Ducharme steps up to bat. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball. 1-0. Dylan Ducharme swung and missed. Strike. 1-1. Dylan Ducharme swung and missed. Strike. 1-2. Ducharme fouls it to foul stands right. Attendee Zosren caught the foul ball. Dylan Ducharme hit a fly ball to outfield center. Dylan Ducharme is on with a single. Winnie Charbonneau steps up to bat. Winnie Charbonneau did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Tides shift. The tide is now in. Winnie Charbonneau did not swing. Ball, 2-0. Winnie Charbonneau swung and missed. Strike, 2-1. Charbonneau fouls it to foul stands left. Josiah Yin strikes Winnie Charbonneau out. Top of the third inning. Current score, 3-0. Dylan Ducharme is up to pitch. Adelaide Chisel steps up to bat. Adelaide Chisel swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Adelaide Chisel swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. Tides shift. The tide is now out. Chisel fouls it to foul infield left. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Chisel fouls it to foul infield left. The new moon continues, play goes on. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 2-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Adelaide Chisel out. Laurel Nguyen steps up to bat. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 1-0. The weather intensified. Weather is now crescent moon. Laurel Nguyen is caught looking. Strike, 1-1. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 3-1. Nguyen fouls it to foul back. Laurel Nguyen hit a fly ball to outfield left. Zoe Montrain caught the ball. Counsel from Coach Wheat increases Laurel Nguyen's connection by 2 levels to F+. Ivy Ramalan steps up to bat. Ramalan fouls it to foul infield left. Ivy Ramalan hit a ground ball to outfield left center. Ivy Ramalan is on with a single. Malaysia Mellon steps up to bat. Dylan Ducharme and Malaysia Mellon stare each other down. Dylan Ducharme's nose twitches. Malaysia Mellon gets into Ducharme's head. The tide is out. Malaysia Mellon hit a line drive to outfield left. Malaysia Mellon is on with a double. Yves Jalot steps up to bat. Jalot fouls it to foul back. Yves Jalot swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. Jalot fouls it to foul back. Yves Jalot did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Yves Jalot hit a line drive to infield center. Yves Jalot is on with a single. Ivy Ramalan scores. Rump Rosemary steps up to bat. Rump Rosemary hit a line drive to infield right. Rump Rosemary hits into a fielder's choice. Yves Jalot is out. Bottom of the third inning. Current score, 4-0. Josiah Yin is up to pitch. Zoe Montrain steps up to bat. Montrain fouls it to foul infield left. Zoe Montrain did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Zoe Montrain did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Zoe Montrain is caught looking. Strike, 2-2. Zoe Montrain did not swing. Ball, 3-2. That's 4 balls and Zoe Montrain is headed to first. Slosh Yamamoto steps up to bat. Slosh Yamamoto did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Slosh Yamamoto hit a line drive to outfield center. Slosh Yamamoto is on with a single. Mira Whitecloud steps up to bat. Mira Whitecloud did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Mira Whitecloud is caught looking. Strike, 1-1. Mira Whitecloud hit a fly ball to outfield left. Eve Jalot caught the ball. Ryan Dominguez steps up to bat. Dominguez fouls it to foul back. Ryan Dominguez hit a ground ball to outfield center. Ryan Dominguez is on with a double. Zoe Montrain scores. Mateo Blanchek steps up to bat. Josiah Yin and Mateo Blanchek stare each other down. Both players blush. Yin and Mateo Blanchek both get stuck in their own heads. Mateo Blanchek did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Mateo Blanchek is caught looking. Strike, 1-1. Mateo Blanchek did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Mateo Blanchek did not swing. Ball, 3-1. Blanchek fouls it to foul back. Josiah Yin strikes Mateo Blanchek out. Vanessa Farley-Grace steps up to bat. The tide is out. Vanessa Farley-Grace hit a ground ball to outfield left. Vanessa Farley-Grace is on with a single. Slosh Yamamoto scores. Meltz Valentina steps up to bat. Meltz Valentina did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Meltz Valentina hit a fly ball to outfield right center. Meltz Valentina is on with a single. Ryan Dominguez scores. Dylan Ducharme steps up to bat. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball, 2-0. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball, 3-0. Dylan Ducharme is caught looking. Strike, 3-1. Dylan Ducharme swung and missed. Strike, 3-2. That's 4 balls and Dylan Ducharme is headed to first. Winnie Charbonneau steps up to bat. Winnie Charbonneau hit a fly ball to infield left. Winnie Charbonneau is on with a single. Vanessa Farley-Grace scores. Zoe Montrain steps up to bat. Zoe Montrain swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Montrain fouls it to foul stands left. Zoe Montrain did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Montrain fouls it to foul stands right. Josiah Yin strikes Zoe Montrain out. Top of the 4th inning. Current score, 4-4. Dylan Ducharme is up to pitch. Triplicate Carnan steps up to bat. Triplicate Carnan hit a fly ball to infield center. Ryan Dominguez caught the ball. Zara Index steps up to bat. Zara Index swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Index fouls it to foul stands right. Zara Index hit a ground ball to infield center. Zara Index is thrown out by Mateo Blancek. Zara Index is out. Josiah Yin steps up to bat. Yin fouls it to foul stands left. Josiah Yin swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. Josiah Yin hit a fly ball to outfield left. Zoe Montrain caught the ball. Direction from Coach Wheat increases Josiah Yin's group mind by 1 level to F. Bottom of the 4th inning. Current score, 4-4. Josiah Yin is up to pitch. Slosh Yamamoto steps up to bat. The Tide is out. Slosh Yamamoto hit a ground ball to outfield right. Slosh Yamamoto is on with a triple. Mira Whitecloud steps up to bat. Mira Whitecloud is caught looking. Strike, 0-1. Mira Whitecloud did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Whitecloud fouls it to foul infield left. Josiah Yin strikes Mira Whitecloud out. Ryan Dominguez steps up to bat. Ryan Dominguez hit a line drive to infield right. Triplicate Carnan caught the ball. Mateo Blancek steps up to bat. Mateo Blancek hit a fly ball to infield left. Mateo Blancek is on with a single. Slosh Yamamoto scores. Vanessa Fowler Grace steps up to bat. Vanessa Fowler Grace hit a line drive to outfield left center. Vanessa Fowler Grace is on with a double. Meltz Valentina steps up to bat. Meltz Valentina is caught looking. Strike, 0-1. Meltz Valentina did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Meltz Valentina did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Valentina fouls it to foul stands right. Valentina fouls it to foul infield left. Meltz Valentina did not swing. Ball, 3-2. Valentina fouls it to foul infield right. That's 4 balls and Meltz Valentina is headed to first. Dylan Ducharme steps up to bat. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Ducharme fouls it to foul stands left. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Dylan Ducharme swung and missed. Strike, 2-2. Josiah Yin strikes Dylan Ducharme out. Top of the 5th inning. Current score, 4-5. Dylan Ducharme is up to pitch. The crescent moon continues. The moon's infectious grin spreads amongst the crowd. Adelaide Chisel steps up to bat. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 2-0. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 3-0. Chisel fouls it to foul stands right. The crescent moon continues. The moon's infectious grin spreads amongst the crowd. Adelaide Chisel hit a line drive to infield left. Adelaide Chisel is on with a double. Laurel Nguyen steps up to bat. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 1-0. The crescent moon continues. Something pulls at your soul. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 2-0. The crescent moon continues. Play goes on. Laurel Nguyen swung and missed. Strike, 2-1. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 3-1. Laurel Nguyen swung and missed. Strike, 3-2. Nguyen fouls it to foul back. That's 4 balls and Laurel Nguyen is headed to first. Ivy Ramalan steps up to bat. Ivy Ramalan swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Ramalan fouls it to foul stands right. Ivy Ramalan did not swing. Ball, 1-2. The tide is out. Ivy Ramalan hit a ground ball to outfield left. Ivy Ramalan is on with a single. Malaysia Mellon steps up to bat. Malaysia Mellon did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Mellon fouls it to foul outfield left. The crescent moon continues. Play goes on. Malaysia Mellon did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Malaysia Mellon did not swing. Ball, 3-1. Malaysia Mellon swung and missed. Strike, 3-2. That's 4 balls and Malaysia Mellon is headed to first. Adelaide Chisel scores. Yves Gelot steps up to bat. Dylan Ducharme and Yves Gelot stare each other down. Dylan Ducharme apologizes. Yves Gelot gets into Ducharme's head. Yves Gelot swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Yves Gelot swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. Yves Gelot did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Yves Gelot out. Rump Rosemary steps up to bat. Rump Rosemary did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Rump Rosemary swung and missed. Strike, 1-1. Rump Rosemary is caught looking. Strike, 1-2. Rosemary did not swing. Ball, 2-2. Rosemary fouls it to foul, stands right. Rosemary did not swing. Ball, 3-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Rosemary out. Triplicate Carnan steps up to bat. Triplicate Carnan swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Triplicate Carnan hit a ground ball to infield center. Triplicate Carnan hits into a fielder's choice. Laurel Nguyen is out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Current score, 5-5. Josiah Yin is up to pitch. Winnie Charbonneau steps up to bat. Charbonneau fouls it to foul back. Winnie Charbonneau swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. Winnie Charbonneau did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Winnie Charbonneau hit a ground ball to infield right. Winnie Charbonneau is on with a single. Zoe Montrain steps up to bat. Zoe Montrain swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Zoe Montrain is caught looking. Strike, 0-2. Montrain fouls it to foul, infield left. Zoe Montrain hit a ground ball to infield right. Zoe Montrain is on with a single. Slosh Yamamoto steps up to bat. Slosh Yamamoto swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Slosh Yamamoto did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Yamamoto fouls it to foul, infield left. Josiah Yin strikes Slosh Yamamoto out. Mira Whitecloud steps up to bat. Mira Whitecloud did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Mira Whitecloud did not swing. Ball, 2-0. Whitecloud fouls it to foul, stands right. Mira Whitecloud did not swing. Ball, 3-1. The crescent moon continues. Something pulls at your soul. Whitecloud fouls it to foul, outfield left. Josiah Yin strikes Mira Whitecloud out. Ryan Dominguez steps up to bat. Ryan Dominguez is caught looking. Strike, 0-1. Ryan Dominguez did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Ryan Dominguez swung and missed. Strike, 1-2. Ryan Dominguez did not swing. Ball, 2-2. Ryan Dominguez hit a fly ball to outfield right. Zara Index caught the ball. Real talk from Coach Tequila increases Ryan Dominguez's ballistics by 2 levels to F+. Top of the 6th inning. Current score, 5-5. Dylan Ducharme is up to pitch. Zara Index steps up to bat. Zara Index did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Index fouls it to foul, stands left. Zara Index did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Zara Index did not swing. Ball, 3-1. Zara Index hit a fly ball to outfield left center. Zara Index is on with a single. Josiah Yin steps up to bat. Josiah Yin did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Yin fouls it to foul infield left. Yin fouls it to foul back. Josiah Yin did not swing. Ball, 2-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Josiah Yin out. Adelaide Chisel steps up to bat. Adelaide Chisel is caught looking. Strike, 0-1. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Adelaide Chisel swung and missed. Strike, 2-2. Adelaide Chisel did not swing. Ball, 3-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Adelaide Chisel out. Laurel Nguyen steps up to bat. Laurel Nguyen did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Laurel Nguyen swung and missed. Strike, 1-1. Laurel Nguyen hit a line drive to outfield right center. Laurel Nguyen is on with a single. Ivy Ramalan steps up to bat. Ivy Ramalan did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Ramalan fouls it to foul stands left. Ivy Ramalan swung and missed. Strike, 1-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Ivy Ramalan out. Bottom of the 6th inning. Current score, 5-5. Josiah Yin is up to pitch. Mateo Blancek steps up to bat. Mateo Blancek did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Mateo Blancek hit a fly ball to infield center. Laurel Nguyen caught the ball. Vanessa Fowler-Grace steps up to bat. Vanessa Fowler-Grace did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Fowler-Grace fouls it to foul stands left. Vanessa Fowler-Grace did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Vanessa Fowler-Grace did not swing. Ball, 3-1. That's 4 balls and Vanessa Fowler-Grace is headed to first. Meltz Valentina steps up to bat. Josiah Yin and Meltz Valentina stare each other down. Josiah Yin nervously looks at the umpire. Meltz Valentina gets into Yin's head. Meltz Valentina swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Meltz Valentina did not swing. Ball, 1-1. The crescent moon continues, play goes on. Meltz Valentina swung and missed. Strike, 1-2. Meltz Valentina did not swing. Ball, 2-2. Josiah Yin strikes Meltz Valentina out. Dylan Ducharme steps up to bat. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Dylan Ducharme is caught looking. Strike, 1-1. Dylan Ducharme did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Dylan Ducharme swung and missed. Strike. 2-2. Josiah Yin strikes Dylan Ducharme out. Top of the 7th inning. Current score, 5-5. Dylan Ducharme is up to pitch. Malaysia Melon steps up to bat. Melon fouls it to foul stands right. Malaysia Melon did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Malaysia Melon did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Malaysia Melon is caught looking. Strike, 2-2. Malaysia Melon did not swing. Ball, 3-2. That's 4 balls and Malaysia Melon is headed to first. Yves Jalot steps up to bat. Yves Jalot did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Jalot fouls it to foul stands left. Yves Jalot hit a line drive to infield right. Meltz Valentina caught the ball. Rump Rosemary steps up to bat. Rump Rosemary did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Rump Rosemary did not swing. Ball, 2-0. Rump Rosemary did not swing. Ball, 3-0. Rump Rosemary is caught looking. Strike, 3-1. That's 4 balls and Rump Rosemary is headed to first. Triplicate Karnan steps up to bat. Triplicate Karnan swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Triplicate Karnan did not swing. Ball, 1-1. Triplicate Karnan did not swing. Ball, 2-1. Karnan fouls it to foul infield left. Triplicate Karnan hit a ground ball to infield right. Triplicate Karnan hits into a fielder's choice. Malaysia Melon is out. Zara Index steps up to bat. Zara Index did not swing. Ball, 1-0. Zara Index swung and missed. Strike, 1-1. Zara Index swung and missed. Strike, 1-2. Index fouls it to foul back. Attendee Turtle Lover 2244 caught the foul ball. Zara Index did not swing. Ball, 2-2. Dylan Ducharme strikes Zara Index out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Current score, 5-5. Josiah Yin is up to pitch. Winnie Charbonneau steps up to bat. Winnie Charbonneau swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Winnie Charbonneau swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. Josiah Yin strikes Winnie Charbonneau out. Zoe Montrain steps up to bat. Zoe Montrain hit a ground ball to outfield left. Zoe Montrain is on with a single. Slosh Yamamoto steps up to bat. Slosh Yamamoto swung and missed. Strike, 0-1. Slosh Yamamoto swung and missed. Strike, 0-2. The weather de-intensified. Weather is now new moon. Josiah Yin strikes Slosh Yamamoto out. Mira Whitecloud steps up to bat. Whitecloud fouls it to foul stands right. Whitecloud fouls it to foul outfield left. Attendee Arthur Apendrid caught the foul ball. Mira Whitecloud did not swing. Ball, 1-2. Josiah Yin strikes Mira Whitecloud out. Well, that's the game. Home team Cuddle bears 5 runs and away team sweeps 5 runs. Epilogue. Seth Proletariat is down on the farm. Their Bellcraft stat increased 2 levels to F+. Ivy Ramallen is down on the farm. Their marksmanship stat increased 1 level to F. Wow. A tie. Vote for the winner. We really need to fix that. Tie goes to home team. I have an emphatic note about that. Don't let it get away from you that much. Well. Another tie. 3-3. I do not like ties. This is not the way of the horse. The Cuddle Bears win by nature of being the home team. Congrats. That's what the horse would want. Cuddle Bears are the leader of the pack going into Week 5. Fano Capo asks, what did you do, or what are you doing, to celebrate the Year of the Horse? Answer. I had planned to gallop a bit. And try my hand at a good neigh. I am open to suggestions. Am I a horse? No, I am just a big fan. Suggestion, eat a carrot, feel that cronk. Snacks, I like it. Aerobic, good, keep them coming. Braid hair? Ooh, I will try. This mane is hard to tame. I will give it a shot. Eat sugar. In cubes. Fun snack shapes. Got it. I have a good agenda full of ideas. Thanks, family. Stay tuned for the announcement of the next broadcast, soon. Blue Sky and Discord. Cuddles bears at wrenches. Cuddle bears ***, excuse me. The forbidden plural, cuddles bear. And Allen's town wrench. Salem swept. Books marked. Okay. See you soon. Next new moon.